Back here in the U.S., speaking about moves, we've certainly seen a lot of cabinet reshuffling over the last week or so, Steve, to put it mildly. Larry Kudlow now taking over from Gary Cohn's post. I know you know Larry. A lot of people on Wall Street know Larry. Is that a step in the right direction in your view?
Well, I've known Larry since 1972, which means we're both older than dirt.
It means you have a lot of experience and have seen a lot.
I see. Well, thank you for reinterpreting that. That was great, Betty. Larry's a very competent guy, and he's thoughtful. And as you know from watching him a bit on TV, he is not shy. Having Larry sit in a corner someplace and have people run over him because they find it amusing, I don't think that's the way this will play. And so I think Larry will play an important role. And as to Gary, he did play an important role.
Right.
They got the tax bill done with Gary's help and Steve Mnuchin and other people in the administration.
This was going to be the administration where the CEOs were going to, come and show how the government was, could be run more efficiently. You had Rex Tillerson there. You've got Steve Mnuchin there still, and Gary Cohn. And little by little, Steve, these CEOs have dropped off. What does that say to you?
Well, it could say that there's some people who can more easily adapt to a government role, government pace, government levels of coordination. I think there's some issues of just simple personality fit. That when you assemble groups of strangers, a lot of these people that you were mentioning were not well known to the person who hired them. And so, it's sort of like a living first date where you get married,
like a blind
maybe
date.
on the second date. Some of these were blind dates.
Right.
People who just literally, hadn't met each other. And when you start on an adventure like that, it's not easy. So I think the thing with Rex, was. Rex is a really good person, and he's a distinguished guy, and he's smart, and he's experienced in the world. The fit between the two individuals didn't seem to be there.
Yeah.
And with Mike Pompeo, he briefs the president every day, so this is not like a first date, and so these two guys. Get along. He knows his craft.
Right.
He's well liked, and he's experienced. So sometimes when you make changes, change is always shocking.
Yeah.
Because people get used to the world as it is. On the other hand, I think the two people who've come in are qualified and strong. So
you're confident.
So we'll go on sort of the next adventure, if you will.
That's a good way to put it. And when you look at, despite all this, quote unquote, the churn that you're seeing in the White House, or even just, the issues of the day in Washington, does it make you give any pause? Does it give you any pause in terms of you deploying your capital or where you're deploying your capital, Steve?
Well. Not really. One of the things that's forgotten when we turn to this hubbub of what's going on in Washington is the basic economy is doing really well. Most of the indicia of consumer confidence, business confidence, they're at records. What did we have? 800,000 people, came back into the workforce. Labor's getting tight.
Retail sales were a little shaky this morning, though, but...
Well, no set of measures work every time you measure them. But, we're going to have growth, I'm pretty sure, in the threes, which people said was impossible. And whenever you reduce regulation to the extent you believe that some of the regulations were really creating a lot of friction, and give people the confidence to go ahead because there's predictability. They're not going to be attacked for, sort of their just doing their jobs, that good things will happen in that kind of thing, let alone the policy changes that were introduced that will stimulate the economy and give it another leg.